Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome right back to the channel. Listen, it's been greatness happening. Okay, March is something crazy. Okay, March Madness was wild. Probably started before March, okay? But March Madness is here. March Madness has been around the corner for a little while, okay? Because it's been really, really antsy. A lot of upsets throughout the year. Okay, March Madness is about next week. But listen, we still got some wild stuff happening this week in these tournament games and stuff like that. And then the NBA is going to be really, really, really fun too because it's been fun all year. But since the All Star break, it's been legendary. It's been some magical stuff. The race is tightening up between 3 and 6 in the West. Okay, the 7 seed Suns is trying to get up out of there and get into 6 seed. It's gonna be something entertaining. The Western top seed is in contention. The East seed is in contention as well for the 1 and 2 seeds. 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 are all in battles too a little bit. They're competing with each other. But here's the thing, and there's breaking news, especially in the NFL. Okay, mostly in the actually all in the NFL this Monday. But here's the thing. Before we get into all that, my name is Isaiah Austin, and please welcome back. Thank you. Welcome back to IDA Kings Video Production channel. Okay, if you like the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you like the videos, hit the like button on all the videos I did so far on this channel. And please do me this all this solid right here. If you want to know when I post and upload new videos, hit that bell notification right there. Hit that bell notification. Okay. First things first, we will get the NBA out the way real quick because it's been fun and it's been a lot going on. Okay, this weekend. Magical stuff happening this weekend. One of the things that happened was the Magic beating the Timberwolves, I believe, on Amazon Prime Video. Okay, the Magic did a great job dominating the Timberwolves from start to finish, blowing them out, beating them, and doing a great job showing what type of team they were when they're healthy. When they're healthy, they are a great team. Baines is great. Pablo Banchero's been great. When they are healthy, though, that's the type of team they are. They could dominate, especially defensively. Last year, they were number one, I believe, in defense. This year, they are really, really good when they're healthy. And they did that to the Timberwolves and beat them out bad and did a great job of it. The Nets upsetted the Pistons. They did a great job upsetting the Pistons. Okay, 107 to 105. The Hawks did a great job getting a big win against the 76ers, 125 to 116. That was a great game for the Hawks. At first, they started off struggling. Both teams couldn't play defense, but then the Hawks started pulling away, especially in that fourth quarter, and they got it done. They put Maxey in a bad situation in the second half as well. And I know Joel Embiid, I believe, didn't play in that game. The Clippers ended up was in a tight game with the Grizzlies, but they ended up winning 123 to 120. Kawhi balled out in that game as well. The Bucks ended up winning against the Jazz. Giannis was hooping in that game. He was cooking. And then the Thunder and the Warriors were in a tight battle. The Warriors put a lot of pressure on the Thunder. Put a little scare in the Thunder real quick. But the Thunder hit a shot. JSGA hit a shot, pull back, step back to the right-hand side. Okay, hit that shot, hit that three, and I believe it was a three, and all of a sudden the game was out of reach right there. If I'm not mistaken, 102 to 97, and then they ended up winning 104 to 97. Okay, Sunday was even crazy too. The Celtics beat the Cavs. Jason Tatum has done a great job so far coming back. Did a good stuff. I think they're undefeated with him being there. Um, you know, they beat Dallas and then also beat the Cavs. The Cavs are a great team, but they end up losing 98 to 109 against the Celtics. The Lakers have been really good the last few games, okay? They've won 5 out of the last 6, including this game against the Knicks. They end up winning 110 to 97. Defensively, they have been fantastic. They have been great. And LeBron, Luka, and Reeves have done some good things. The last 2 games, Luka and Reeves have been really good, especially against the Knicks. They have been really, really fantastic against the Knicks. Okay. The Heat beat the Pistons. Okay. 121 to 110. The Pistons are they've been having some struggles a little bit, but it's all good. They are going to be fine, I believe, just like the Thunder will. The Thunder went through a patch too, but the Pistons are going to be cool. The Heat needed this win bad too. They're trying to get to that 6th seed. They're really close too. They're really, really close to that 6th seed too. The Raptors ended up beating the Mavericks. The Raptors have been good all year, really great, and they ended up beating the Mavericks 122 to 92. The Pelicans ended up beating the Wizards 138 to 118. And then the Magic ended up beating the Bucks 130 to 91. And then this one was a real big one. The Spurs and the Rockets. That was a heck of a game. Okay. Especially in that first quarter, it was close. But now The Spurs, throughout the rest of the three quarters, dominated the Rockets, put them in bad situations, and it was 145 to 120. A lot of scoring, and the Spurs ran through the Rockets defense. The Rockets are a great defense overall, fantastic defense overall, and they lead the league in points per game allowed per game. Um, and they ended up losing 145 to 120. It was a tough one. The Trailblazers ended up winning 131 to 111. They have had a way better year than people expected them to have as well. The Kings ended up winning 126 to 110, and then the Suns ended up beating the Hornets. The Suns are having a real good year too. They're trying to get out of that 7 seed. They beat the Hornets 111 to 99. The Hornets have been great all year too. They've been really fantastic all year. Shocking that they got blown out like that, but they have been really good all year, especially the last few months of the season, like starting around December, November, December, January. They've been really cooking. February and March, yeah, they've been really good. Monday and Tuesday is going to be great. Before we talk about Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in the next video, Monday and Tuesday is going to be really special. The 76ers versus the Cavs, that's a big game for both teams. A real big game for both teams. That's going to be fun. Cannot wait for that one at 7 p.m. The Grizzlies and Nets, 23 and 39 versus 16 and 47 Nets. The Thunder and Nuggets going to be real fun. The Nuggets are trying to be the 3rd seed and try to get, or the 4th seed to try to get home court advantage, but they are in a dogfight with the Timberwolves, Lakers, and the Houston Rockets. Okay, Timberwolves, hey, that's going to be a heck of one. The Thunder is trying to fend off the Spurs because they're trying to stay number 1, okay? So that's going to be a fun one. Jazz and Warriors, and the Clippers and Knicks. The Clippers are trying to be the 8th seed, and the Knicks are trying to stay at the 3rd seed. It's going to be hard to get to the 2nd and 1st seed, but they're trying to stay in that 3rd seed. And then Tuesday, it's going to be really, really entertaining too. 76ers versus Grizzlies. Pistons versus Nets. Okay, the Pistons are trying to get their payback on them Nets really, really bad. That's what they're trying to do after losing to them over the weekend. The Wizards play the Heat, and then the Mavericks play the Hawks. Okay, and then the Raptors and Rockets, that's going to be a fun game too. I cannot wait for that one. The Rockets have been great all year, and they're trying to get as close to that 3rd seed if they can as possible. And the Rockets, like I said earlier, they're trying to stay they're trying to get to 3rd, okay? That's the goal. The Suns are playing against the Bucks. The Suns are trying to get outside of that 7th. They're trying to get in the top 6. And the Bucks are trying to get in the playing game in the East. Okay, the Suns are trying to get in the top 6 in the West. Celtics and Spurs, those are 2 second seeds that are trying to get number 1 seeds. Okay, that's going to be fun. And the Warriors and Bulls, these are important games too, because the Warriors are obviously trying to stay 8th. The Bulls are trying to be a play-in team. The Hornets and Trailblazers are trying to get as high as they can, like the 9th seed, 10th seed, stuff like that. And the Trailblazers are trying to really get the 1 seed if they can. I mean, not the 1 seed, the 8th seed if they can in that play-in situation. Pacers and Kings play against each other, and then the Timberwolves and the Lakers are both trying to fight for that 3rd and 4th seeds. Those 2 seeds right there to have home court advantage. Maybe the 3rd seed to try to stay away from the Thunder in the 2nd round, but the Spurs and the Thunder are tough teams to play anyway, so it might not even matter. So they probably just got to try to play the best they can, and then try to be prepared for both teams, Thunder and Spurs, if they can, when it comes to the 1st and 2nd seed. But that's what they're trying to play for, is that 3rd and 4th seed right there. That's what they're trying to do on Tuesday. That's going to be fun on Tuesday. That's going to be something crazy. I cannot wait for that. But the NCAA tournament has been something magical. Okay, Saturday we talked about. Sunday, we're going to get into Sunday. It was magical stuff on Sunday. Okay, it started with finding out that they were upset. All right, big game in the quarterfinal in the CAA championship tourney. Okay, UNC Wilmington lost to Campbell 85 to 70. They will most likely not be in the NCAA tournament this year. They'll probably be in the NIT. UNC Wilmington. Patriot League semifinal. Lehigh ended up beating Colgate 76 to 69. And then Northern Iowa is back in the tournament once again. They're back. Okay. And they beat UIC 84 to 69. Okay. They beat them. I believe this is their 6th MVC championship, tourney championship. So that was a heck of a one. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to another team that have 30 wins and only 4 losses. And they won the Big South final championship. And that is High Point. High Point ended up winning against Winthrop 91-76. Okay. Boston U ended up beating Navy by 1 point. Boston U ended up hitting a game-winning, I believe, shot or layup in the Patriot League Championship semifinal. Congratulations to them. They're going to the championship game. And Queens beat Central Arkansas in the finale of the ASUN finale, and they beat them in final OT. And congratulations to them. They are making it to the NCAA tournament. And then Memphis ended up beating Tulane in final OT 96-95. It was a great game for them. South Florida blew out Charlotte 83-60. Beat down. And then Illinois was close with Maryland. But Illinois ended up getting a big win 78-72. And Monmouth beat Drexel in the CAA championship quarterfinal 65-57. Tulsa beat Temple. Rice ended up beating UTSA. Okay. And UAB ended up beating East Carolina. And then in the Horizon League second round, North Kentucky blew out Green Bay 96-76. That's a good start for Northern Kentucky. Great start for them. UTSU beat it Western Carolina in the SoCon semifinal. Okay. And Michigan ended up beating Michigan State 90-80. Great game. Great battle. And then Nebraska beat Iowa. Great battle. Final OT. And Nebraska have been losing to Iowa the last 4, 5, 6 games. Okay, they've been really good. Iowa's been giving them problems. And Nebraska found a way to win, and they finished in the top 10 in the country. Towson ended up upsetting Charleston in the CAA quarterfinal championship. Okay, 81-56. A beatdown. Troy ended up beating Southern Mississippi. Okay, in the Sun Belt Championship semifinal, when New Orleans ended up winning in the first round in the Southland tournament against Houston Christian. Okay, and Merrimack beat Marist 58-57 in a defensive battle in the MAAC semifinal tourney. And then Furman beat UNC Greensboro in that semifinal, okay, SoCon championship. And Portland State versus Idaho State. Portland State ended up beating Idaho State 85-78 in the Big Sky Championship second round. Hofstra ended up beating William and Mary 92-61 in the CAA quarterfinal tourney. And then Oregon State beat San Francisco in a close battle 78-77, 1 point. In the quarterfinal of the West Coast Conference tourney. That West Coast Conference tourney is going to be something special. Nicholas versus Northwestern State. Okay, Southern tournament first round. They ended up winning, Nicholas did, 61-47. And Siena Fairfield, 76-61. Siena won MAAC, the semifinal. Okay, in the Sun Belt semifinal, GA Southern beat Marshall 82-78. That was a real close game, and that was a real good one. North Dakota State is going to the NCAA tournament. Congratulations to them. 70-62 beating North Dakota in the Summit League Championship final game. Okay, Idaho versus Montana State in the second round Big Sky Championship, 78-74. Idaho won. And Santa Clara is in a special position because they're in the quarterfinal. They're going to the semifinals because they beat Pacific 76-68, and they have a chance to get to not only the finale in the West Coast Conference tourney, but they have a chance to win it and solidify themselves instead of having to confirm or see if they're in that first 4 year in or whatever the situation is. They could just win and get in, and they don't have to worry about that on Selection Sunday. Okay, that's going to be fun. I'm pretty excited about that. Monday is going to be really, really fun. The game on CAA Championship semifinal was started along with the Southern Tournament. That also started semifinal, quarterfinal. Monmouth and Campbell, they're going to be playing against each other. And the game is already going to be probably starting by the time I upload the video. In New Orleans and Texas A&M in the quarterfinal, that's going to be started by the time I upload the video. Now, Alcorn State and Alabama State today in the SWAC tourney first round played today. Alcorn State won the game 77-65. At 7 p.m., GA Southern versus Troy. Okay, that's going to be a fun one. That's in the Sun Belt finale. Okay, Sun Belt final. And then in the SoCon final, it's going to be Furman versus ETSU. Can't wait for that one too. And in the semifinal Horizon League Championship game is North Kentucky versus Rice State. North Colorado and Montana is going to be in the third round Big Sky Championship game. And then in the CAA semifinal, it's going to be Hofstra and Towson playing against each other in the semifinal. SWAC tourney first round. Grambling State is going against Mississippi Valley State. And Mississippi Valley State is trying to do something real crazy. Only won 3 games. They're trying to win as many games as possible. And then win the final in the SWAC. And then get to the NCAA tournament. That would be crazy. That would be something unbelievable losing 29 games. And find a way in the tournament. But They start off with Gremlin and they can find a way to win. Nicholas versus UT Rio Grande. Okay. 18 and 13 versus 14 and 18 Nicholas. UT Rio Grande is 18-13. They're playing the Southern tournament, Southland tournament quarterfinal, and then West Coast Conference tourney semifinal. It's gonna be Oregon State versus Gonzaga. Cannot wait. Gonzaga's been great all year. Fantastic. Robert Morris is 22 and 10 versus Detroit Mercer 16 and 14 in the Horizon League semifinal. Big Sky third round is East Washington versus Weber State. And then St. Mary's at 11:30 p.m. against Santa Clara in the semifinal. Santa Clara has a chance to, again, beat St. Mary's and Gonzaga and not only make it to the NCAA tournament, but really scare some people in their brackets and really pick them in the brackets. They could be a favorite to be picked, and really go far if they could beat teams like St. Mary and Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference tourney, in the West Coast Conference tournament. Man, this week's going to be fun. It's going to be greatness. Okay, it's going to be entertaining and it's going to be real, real fun. Now, before we head out, though, I got to talk about some things. Okay, really quickly. Tua signed a 1-year deal with the Falcons. Okay. And the NBA halts the Hawks playing tribute in the Magic City. That's what the NBA decided to do. Now, also, Mike Evans is leaving the Bucks to sign with the 49ers. Okay. And I think he signed a 3-year, $60 million deal. Okay. And then Jones hints in the UFC, he hints at a release after a lowball offer. They lowballed him. Bad offer. Commanders ended up landing Oweh. Commanders land Oweh, 4-year, $100 million deal. I think if the Saints ETN signed with the Saints, as well as another player, I think they signed $113 million combined with those two players. They spent that, the Saints did. Malik Willis signed with the Dolphins. What I'm saying? That was another big one. Linderbaum signed with the Raiders. That's a big one. I think he signed an $81 million deal. That's a big one because they ended up signing him, and then you're gonna have a good offensive line. Hopefully, you built out that offensive line for Fernando Mendoza coming in. That could be a fun one. Pretty excited about that. So yeah, there was some breaking news stuff right there. Some big time stuff. Breaking news after breaking news. Pretty excited about that. So that was some great stuff going on right there. Breaking news. Also, Kenneth Walker ended up signing with the Chiefs. Okay, the MVP. So I appreciate y'all. Appreciate everything. And I hope y'all like the channel. Peace. Love y'all.